Yo, what's going on guys, it's Cynical and welcome back to another video. Today for you dudes, I am so excited to bring you a video that I've wanted to bring to the channel for a very long time. I finally have my hands, my gremlin fingers, on something that I have wanted to acquire. This bad boy right here. What is this, you might ask? This is the NTT Docomo P-01A. This is a Japanese flip phone from 2008, which means that I have access to Kingdom Hearts Coded. No, not Kingdom Hearts Recoded, but rather the very original version of this game. This is of course a remake for the Nintendo DS of the original version Kingdom Hearts Coded, a game that released on specific Japanese mobile phones back in 2008. And was essentially an episodic game where you would have to download different episodes to continue to progress throughout the story. This mobile phone I've been trying to track down for an extremely long time. I sent a tweet out back in 2018 saying what I would do to acquire specifically this mobile phone in order to get a Kingdom Hearts Coded experience. It's a Kingdom Hearts game that not many people have actually ever been able to play, aside from the very few that were able to experience it during the time in Japan in 2008. Of course, because of how niche it was and the fact that it was stuck on a mobile phone, Square Enix decided to, of course, remake it for the Nintendo DS so that it could also release worldwide and could fall into the hands of more fans. Now, I have to say a massive shout out to my friend KHWaterBlock. He ended up DMing me saying, dude, I have found a couple of these online. They are hard to come across, but he found specifically two for me, and I had to use a site known as Buy.e, a proxy website that allows you to buy different Japanese items and stuff from Japanese websites. And I was able to snatch this bad boy off of Yahoo Japan Auctions, which is essentially like a marketplace where people can trade and sell stuff over in Japan. This specific version of the NTT Docomo doesn't really appear all too often, and they are hard to come by. I didn't actually end up spending big bucks to get this. I had to buy this as well as a charger separate because it didn't come with the charger, as well as buy a Japanese AC adapter as well. All up, on top of shipping, it cost me probably about 100 New Zealand dollars, so not too bad. This phone though specifically, all models of it come pre-installed straight off the bat from factory default with a Kingdom Hearts Coded demo. So no, I don't have the full version of the game. This is still something that people in the community are trying to hunt down. One of these phones with all of the coded episodes downloaded. We still haven't seen the entirety of Coded on the internet, and even just looking at Kingdom Hearts Coded footage here on YouTube, it is very scarce. I have wanted to upload some HD footage of Kingdom Hearts Coded for the longest time, because up until recently, the only footage that sort of existed for Coded was extremely old 240p footage from like, 2008, 9, 10. So today, ladies and gentlemen, I can finally explain a little bit of Coded to you on top of actually providing some HD footage. Now the phone itself is really neat. Of course, this is just your classic flip phone from that era. I have to say it's so satisfying doing the whole flip phone thing. Ring ring, hello. But what's unique about this is it was sort of designed for gaming in a certain sense, and kind of reminds me of Sony's Xperia Play phone, the PlayStation portable phone from around the same time. What you do here is you press up this little slider and then tilt the screen upwards, and it turns into a landscape sort of gaming device of sorts. From here you'll press this button and you can see right there Kingdom Hearts side episode, Kingdom Hearts Coded. Now the demo itself isn't anything massive, but gives you about 20 odd minutes of playtime and consists of a few arena matches in the Olympus Coliseum. The main menu right here only consists of two options. It's play the demo and then go down to proceed to purchase the full game with the multiple different episodes, which unfortunately you cannot do anymore. I have to say that I really like the look of the original Coded. It uses 3D levels and environments with 2D characters and enemies. Some of the enemies, like the large bodies, actually do have 3D models. So it's sort of like the Octopath Traveler type art style, the 2D, 3D type thing. And it really does take me back just how good this looks and how well it plays for a mobile phone from 2008. Back in 2008, the only games I was playing on my flip phone was, you know, Snake. It plays just like a normal Kingdom Hearts game. You move around, you smack Heartless over the head with the Keyblade, you can dodge roll, you can guard. Now this right here is the control layout. I will say any Kingdom Hearts game is kind of hard to play portably. It is an action RPG, you're going to be pressing a lot of buttons at one time. Mainly because the movement here is the directional pad on the phone, which in itself is quite small. You can move in 8 directions, so you can even move diagonally up, down, left, right, which is really cool. Sora's got his basic Kingdom Hearts 1 ground combo, as well as an aerial combo too, by jumping and of course attacking. Though the finisher in the aerial combo is a down slash, which is kind of new. That's sort of neat. The game locks on for you, so the lock-on reticle will always just appear to the enemy nearest to you. If you successfully pull off a guard, you'll be able to counter, which will activate a combo minigame, which requires you to press a series of directional buttons in sequence, allowing Sora to perform a combo chain up to 30. And as you're pulling this off, you'll be ranked on your performance of consistently keeping up with all of the button input prompts. And depending on how many combos you pull off, you will be rewarded. The enemies drop these blue orbs, which fills up the debug gauge. The debug gauge is going to allow you to pull off your special abilities. Now, they're not flashy cool special abilities like we have in Recoded, but these are still cool nonetheless, and more so act as buffs. So by pressing this button on the phone, you can pause the game and activate the command menu. Yes, there is a command menu in here. The command menu consists of debug abilities, items, as well as options. In the options, you are able to change around your control scheme, which is nice if the default one doesn't work for you. In the debug ability menu though, you'll have 3 different abilities to choose from, and they require different amounts of the debug gauge being filled. These will provide buffs like a speed buff, a fair ability which causes all of the enemies to stop attacking you and rather run away in fair, which is super handy because you do get swarmed in this demo. There are a lot of enemies on screen at once, and you can find yourself getting smacked all the time. I'm not for certain, but it did seem like one of these debug abilities actually increases the amount of damage you dish out, and the third debug ability that requires the entire debug gauge will allow you to pull off the combo attacks, but rather than having to press specific directional button inputs, it's any directional button input you want, making to pull off and reach up to a 30 combo easier. What's cool though is if you have enough of the debug gauge, you can combine these debug abilities. I can only explain these debug abilities so much because I can't read Japanese, of course, but I'm sure that for like the full version of the game, there would be a whole range of these and you'd be able to mix and match them. It seems like you can mix up to a total of 3. In this demo, with the 3 you're given, 1 requires a full gauge, the other ones require about a quarter to 1/3 of the gauge, so you can only combine up to a total of 2. But from what I gather, this is like the main mechanic for the game that you'll be utilizing a lot, attacking enemies, attacking the bug blocks, getting the debug orbs, filling up the debug gauge, and then activating and utilizing these abilities. Again, it's not crazy attacks like we have in Kingdom Hearts Recoded, it's just more so like buffs and additional little support perks. And the other mechanic that you will be using a lot of the time will be the combo mechanic with the button sequences. The demo is just really acting as like a sort of tutorial of sorts. It's Phil giving you some training tips towards how you actually play the game. And I do have to say, it's cool to see that they're reusing the Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, the original version of Chain of Memories from Game Boy Advance. The character sprite sprites that appear during the speech bubble cutscenes. So that's the rundown on Kingdom Hearts Coded, at least all I can sort of tell you for the time being with what I've experienced through just this demo. The next step here is to, of course, somehow get our greasy little gremlin fingers on a full version of this game. How difficult that will be, I think quite up there. Trying to find one of these phones with all of the episodes still installed and haven't been removed is going to be a pretty hard task. But this is a massive step forward towards the preservation of Coded, especially towards footage here on YouTube, as simply put, not a lot of it existed prior to recently. I'm gonna let the rest of the footage roll out, guys, for you to enjoy and envelop yourselves in. But however, let me know your thoughts and opinions towards this in the comment section down below. I'm Cynical, hopefully having a fantastic one, and I'll see you guys real soon. Peace.
Yes, he can.